If I recall your testimony correctly, Mr. Gibson, you said 2018 you were financially in, quote, shambles. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So in 2018, when you were financially in shambles, do you know how much you made that year?
I don't.
Well, according to your tax return, you made $2.221 million.
It was at this moment Tyrese knew he messed up. All right, so we're in Atlanta, Georgia today, and we have another interesting case. So this is actor Tyrese Gibson. If you guys don't know who Tyrese Gibson is, he's an actor in the Fast and the Furious movies. He's part of that franchise. Here's a clip from one of the movies.
Right? Man, it's a fast car, huh? Man, it's a classic, old school, American muscle. Man, this car can do all kind of things, man. Want to see? Check this out right here, homie. So what you doing, man?
What's going on with this case? Now, Tyrese Gibson and his baby mama were in court before. She had to take him to court for child support because they had a disagreement on how much money she actually needed to take care of their child. Tyrese was asking the judge that he could only pay, I think, $2,000. She was asking for something like 30 grand. She was asking for a higher amount. But then after they all looked at everything, the judge ordered Tyrese to pay $10,000 a month in child support payments. So that was an order put down. You pay that to her every month. Boom, done. So after that order, Tyrese said, well, you know what? I'm not doing that. I don't care what the judge says. And he said he's going to pay the amount he wanted to pay. So he started paying $2,236 a month. That's like an $8,000 difference. So his baby mama was like, yo, I want my $10,000. I got a court order. The court forced you to pay it. So please pay me that money. So Tyrese was like, listen, I'm not paying you anymore. It's $2,200 a month. I don't care what the judge said. So what did she do? Well, she said, hey, I'm going to take him back to court because I want the $10,000 the court said I deserve. So she had to hire some lawyers and, file another case and say, hey, I want you, Your Honor, to force him to pay me the difference between what he was paying, the $2,000 a month, and the $10,000 you ordered because that's what I deserve. And because I had to bring him back to court, I want him to pay all those legal bills, right? My legal bills need to be paid, which came out to like another $400,000 so she can actually get the back child support that she's owed from this guy. Now, Tyrese's argument for not paying that money was that he was financially destroyed. He didn't have any money. So, he was saying, hey, I was just broke. But right before the case went to court, Tyrese put out this video asking for the community for help.
In the city of Atlanta to meet me in the courtroom for a prayer. I am asking Attorney Benjamin Crump, my brother, my friend, and my family, Attorney Benjamin Crump, to join me. I am asking Ambassador Andrew Young, the ex-mayor of Atlanta, and one of my nearest beloved brothers and friends to meet me. I'm asking Martin Luther King III, my brother, to meet me in the courthouse. That's what I want. And I want this man to do exactly what he's there to do on that bench, according to the law. That's all. You know what else I'm going to ask? I'm going to ask all of the other judges and anybody who can step in and help me out to do a specific review, pull up all the transcripts for every father that Judge Farmer has ever had to be on the bench for, and I want you to pull up the transcripts and really pick up and point out his conduct. Because as y'all can imagine, see, if he did the shit to me, imagine what he's been doing to all of these other fathers of all races in that courtroom. Imagine that. So if you are a blogger, press, media, Atlanta Journal, you name it, you have to fill out some documents as a press and media journalist called a Rule 22, RULE 22. That way you can set up cameras and you can document everything that's going to be discussed. Because this is all public record and public knowledge, there's nothing confidential about our case. It's all very public. We are going to be discussing Samantha's motion for contempt because she's in contempt of court. We're going to be discussing Special Master's motion for contempt. We're also going to be discussing Samantha's motion for attorney's fees. And we're also going to be discussing my motion for attorney's fees. You were supposed to pay for your own attorney since you want to argue about the validity of our court case.
So Tyrese was, calling out the judge. The judge is essentially biased against men. He does this all the time, This judge is going to screw me. He was going into court calling out the judge. Now, remember what and this is the most important part, remember what his defense was, that he had no money. He couldn't pay $120,000 a year. He wasn't making that much. But I think he thinks that the judge in the court's going to take your word for it. If you say you don't have any money, the first thing they're going to look at is your tax returns, right? They're going to see, well, how much did you make this year? How much did you tell the Internal Revenue Service you made this last year? So that's what they did. And this is what happened.
If I recall your testimony correctly, Mr. Gibson, you said 2018 you were financially in, quote, shambles. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So in 2018, when you were financially in shambles, do you know how much you made that year?
I don't.
Well, according to your tax return, you made $2.221 million. It's page 32. Do you want to check my math?
Sir, I'm asking you because I don't do the CFO thing. Here's a question to you, smart person.
No, hey, that's enough. You go sit down, we're taking a break, lawyer's back now. If you do it again, I'm gonna hold you in contempt. You don't ask any questions. That's not how this works.
So obviously that was a disaster. He made over $2 million. It wasn't even 10% of what he made. It was $120,000 a year that he couldn't give this woman for child support. And now he wants to ask questions to the lawyers. Remember, he's on the stand, so the lawyers are asking him questions. So what happens next? Well, the judge is not a fool. If you're making $2 million a year and you can't pay the $10,000 a month or $120,000 a year for child support, then obviously you're not in financial ruins, right? There's no way he can claim he's in financial ruins. He made $2.1 million. So he wasn't fooling anybody. So this is what the judge did. The judge said, hey, he's going to order Tyrese not only to pay the back pay, right? The back pay, which came out to about $250,000. So he has to pay that back money. He's got to pay that. And going forward, he's still got to pay the $10,000 a month. But also, he's got to pay $400,000 in legal fees. So altogether, that means he's on the hook for $636,000. $400,000 to the attorneys and the $236,000 for the back child support. So Tyrese saying that, hey, this is all unfair. The judge is so biased. This is crazy, but it's simple, right? You can't sit there and lie and say you are financially in shambles, but then they find out that you're making $2 million a year and you can't pay $120,000 for child support. And if everything I just told you wasn't shocking enough, the court had to hire a special master, a special referee to go through the tax returns and everything. And they said, well, Tyrese, since you forced her to bring you to court to pay the $10,000 a month that you, for some reason, just refused to pay, you're going to have to pay the $17,000 bill for the special master. So now he's got to pay the court fees, her legal fees, his own legal fees, and the back child support. That's insane. Essentially, if he's making $2 million a year, he's almost out, right? A quarter of his yearly earnings because he didn't want to pay child support or the amount that was ordered by the court. Now, obviously, Tyrese's people are saying, well, obviously, this judge is biased. You can just tell by the way the judge was acting, because he was almost held in contempt. So today's results aren't really shocking. The lawyer for his baby mama says that all she wants is to co-parent their daughter together following court orders and moving forward in peace. So let me know what you think about this story. It seems like this is the right ruling, right? If the judge says pay this money and you say, hey, I'm not paying, I'm going to pay less because I want to, and then your excuse is I don't have any money, then they find that you're making $2 million a year. I don't know what else would you'd want the judge to do. And then try to make this an issue about men's rights. Really? Is this an issue about men's rights? Is Tyrese being screwed here? I don't think so. Matter of fact, I think if the judge would have ruled the opposite way, I think that would have been wrong. But let me know how you feel in the comments section. My name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'll see you next time. Peace.